Let's add cool effects to our 3D scenes with particles using TSL, the Three.js Shading Language. If you're new to Three.js, check out my course, Learn Three.js Basics. Today, we're going to destroy this torus using TSL. I'm starting with the Three.js WebGPU template, which you can download from my GitHub. First thing I want to do is turn off this rotation, like so. In fact, just kill it. And next, I want to add a listener. I want to add a function to handle key press, or key down, rather. And if that key is the space bar, we're going to handle it. Right now, we're just going to toggle the visibility of the geometry there, that knot. Yeah, knot.material. Dot visibility, visible. Yeah, like that. Add window.event listener. Window.add event listener, key down. And now, if I press the space bar, we can toggle the appearance of that guy. That'll be important in a second. Okay, so to destroy this with TSL, I'm going to recreate it using points. And when the user interacts by pressing a key, I want to hide the original geometry and then show those points and have those points drift away. Let's start with making the points. It's relatively easy with TSL. Let's see, I need a material and a points object and some geometry. So for the material, say const points mat equals a new points node material. Yeah, I like that. It's white. We're not going to use that for now. We're not going to use that yet either on the scale node. No. So we have a color node that's white. Let's create the points. Const points equals a new 3.points. Oh yeah. Geometry and point mat, and then scene.add points. So there's our points. I want each point to be bigger. Can I say size is 10? I think that's the way you do it. Okay, that's not the way it works, the points node material, is it? What if we use this scale node? Oh, it blows up. Why? Why does it blow up? I think that's a part of the points node material. Oh, uniform is not defined. My bad. Whenever you see that and you're writing TSL, it's often a hint to just say uniform and import that missing item. Okay, but those points aren't any bigger. That's not the effect I was looking for. The fact is, you can't make the point size bigger if you use a points object. It's a limitation of WebGPU or WGPU, one of the two. Because of that limitation, we need to try something different. Sprites are just 3.sprite, and we only pass in the material. Okay, now we have a sprite. Let's temporarily hide this guy. What we want to use is an instance sprite instead, and let's add this position node. What is that exactly? That's this. We want to grab the position attribute. All right, I like to call it pos adder. And let's define that. Const pos adder is equal to the position attribute of the geometry. And here's one way to grab it. And using this ugly line of code here, 3.instanceBuffer attribute, we're going to pass that to this position node. And this time I'm on to you, Three.js. You're going to want me to import instanceBuffer attribute, which I did. Oh, and I see it. It's right there. Let's increase the size so we can see that guy. There's our 1 point. An important step is to tell Three.js how many sprites you want. So I want sprite.count is equal to 1,000. Sorry, it's points. It's not 1,000. It's pos.count. Yes. Or posadder.count. let's be specific about that. It's posadder.count here. Okay. And save. Yes. Now we have points that are bigger. Woohoo! Thanks to Exponent for making me a brand ambassador. Check out the link in the description for a 20% discount. That color, let's fix that right now. Actually, no, before I do that, if I increase the scale, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Increase the scale, it's going to increase the point size, which makes this look weird. Let's drop it down to, I don't know, 10 or 20. 20 was working for me. Now, turn on this opacity node. Oh, that's broken because guess what? Shape. Circle. Now they're little circles. Quick recap of what we've done so far. We created a sprite and we passed in this points node material. That points node material needed a position node, which is all the different vertex positions from our geometry. And we told it to be a color. I wonder if I can do this. If I can say the other material dot color node. Can I do that? I can. So all I'm doing is taking this material's color node and using it here. That's a pretty easy way to do it, I think. Pretty reliable too. Like if I were to do something funny like multiply the hell out of this, it would pick that up. So let's leave that like that. Great. The next thing I want to do is animate this. We're going to need this time TSL property, time. And with that, let's see, what's the simplest way I can get this off the ground? Let's try this. Const offset range is equal to a range. This is a TSL property. Let's add it to our list in alphabetical order. Range. Okay. Offset range is a range from new 3 dot vector 3 -1 -1 -1 to 1 1 1. Points mat. I want it to be points mat, not point mat. Here, let's fix that there. Points mat dot position node equals offset range dot mul time. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's try it. It's cool. It's weird. You can also add mul to like some fractional value and slow everything down. And I want to try this too. Dot mul that value. Or add rather. Add. We'll see what that looks like. Yeah, look at that. I have to recap what I did there because I kind of stumbled upon it. I defined a range from -1 -1 -1 to 1 1 1. And I told the position node of this material to add to itself that value, a value between this range, this number and this number multiplied by time. Yeah, and it kind of works. Next thing I want to do is have these guys kind of fade out. Let's affect the opacity node. Let's do that like this. Points mat dot opacity node equals that. We're multiplying the opacity node by this time, this fractional time value, 1 minus. 1 minus means 1 minus that value. So let's see what that looks like. Save it. It should fade out over time. They don't. I wonder why not. Oh, no, they are. They faded out. Oh, it's 10 times longer than I expected. So here. Wow. Let's do it again. It's pretty cool. There are some ways to finesse it, like to add some more controls like this life range and this speed, and then calculate this scaled time. I'm gonna copy this and paste it in here. This is not a range at all. In fact, I could comment this out. And let's see what that looks like. It looks bad because I need to import. All right, let's see. I don't know what it is. Start time. Oh, that makes sense. Let's define start time. Const start time is equal to 0.0. I think it's a little bit better. Let's affect the opacity node. It's a little bit more complicated. All right, it's a little faster too. Last thing to do, hook this up with our click listener, or our key listener rather. Let's add this back to the scene, and we're going to wrap this whole 9 yards. Function get atoms. Let's call them atoms. Okay. And instead of adding this to the scene here, let's return this. Return points. And close off our function, format it. There, that's our get atoms. And we're going to pass it this start time. I'll show you why in a moment. And let's default that to 0.0. Okay. What we have now is our TorusKnot again. Now, how do I grab that again? Let's say scene.add get atoms. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, this is great. Toggle it back on again. Last thing to correct. I love that this works. I did not intend for this to work. I was going to explain that you need to add a timer in there to get this to work. Why? Let's just show you how. So if I don't add any value, it's going to be 0, and I hit the spacebar and it's not happening. No, it doesn't work. If I reload and hit the spacebar immediately, it works because of this. Where is it? This value here, this thing, time. Time starts from 0 and counts up. Anything after the first second or two, it's too late. That's why I'm adding this sub start time. Essentially, that's 0 at the moment, so it kind of reads like that. But if we add this start time value, then it will start counting when we tap the spacebar, when I pass in that start time value. As it happens, that performance that now works. Let's add that back in. There, like that. I'm going to go ahead and use that. I like doing this. Let is visible equal false, or sorry, true. And then we'll toggle this value here is visible equals not is visible. Good. And then handle it with that. And that'll allow us to put a conditional here. If is visible is true. Yeah. Then add the atoms. And that looks like this. Only it's backwards. There. Boom. Get our TorusKnot back. Boom. One quick note before I wrap it up, play around with these values. I've labeled, we're not even using the speed thing. We can randomize the speed range like this. And you see some of them just fly off really, really fast. You can tone that down a little bit and slow this way down too. Boom. Now some of them go super slow and dissolve like, I don't know, atoms in acid or something. That's way too slow though. And some of them fly off really fast. Also play with this offset range vector. This is the lowest low and the highest high. If you crank up the highest high and raise up the lowest low a little bit, now they'll kind of drift up. Like they're lighter than air. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. Make it go a little bit lower. Like that. And now it'll appear that they kind of melt. And it's a totally different effect, just changing a couple of numbers. How cool is that? I want to show you something else. One of the things you can do with this, I want to show you another effect, is you can add a glow, and now it really feels like they're being atomized. Isn't that cool? So cool. If you've enjoyed this video and you know someone who might enjoy it, share it with them. Leave a comment. It really helps my channel grow. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one.